This might be the most impressive thing that a college coach has ever said to me. It was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Tom Ryan, Ohio State, was like, "Hey, you know what? We get your emails. I don't respond, but we follow you guys. We see the wrestlers that you have, and we're always watching all of the clubs and coaches and everyone, and we're constantly got our eyes peeled for recruiting." He's like, "So I appreciate those. Keep sending those our way." He's like, "Now, it's from a recruiting standpoint, understand one thing." He said, "We need freaks. We're trying to knock off Penn State. We're trying to knock off Iowa." He's like, "So keep us in the loop of your campers and your academy kids. But I will tell you this, if you find a freak, you've got my number. Let me know right away." And I share that with my wrestlers constantly because, you know, it it is true, right? So you look at the real world. Maybe you could manage a popsicle stand. Could you manage, you know, the Amazon Corporation? Could you be the CEO of Amazon? Probably not, right? I know I couldn't. So there's sort of like a pecking order and there's a hierarchy out there. It's just the way it is. You might not like it, but it's the way it is. So your goal is to say, what do I want to do? Then now, who do I have to become in order to be considered for that spot? So if you want to be a big CEO of a great big massive company one day, do some research, see what it takes, and then you've got to dedicate your life to that. You want to become an NCAA All-American or national champ? Okay. Get a pen and paper out, write it down, map it out. What do you need to do? You have to become, it's like there's a business saying that says, you have to become a millionaire before you can become a millionaire. Because you're not going to have the skills to make that money. You're certainly not going to have the skills to keep it. That's the reason all these professional athletes and lottery winners and country music stars and rappers, they all go broke, right? So you have to become that person. And I think from a wrestling standpoint, you need to sit down, write it out, map it out. And it's not just wrestling technique, it's winning, right? It is. You have to take out some gangsters. You have to take out some fast horses. You have to get on the mat and get your hand raised. You have to worry about that national ranking. Some people say, "Oh, rankings don't matter." That's the guys who weren't ranked. It doesn't matter to them. National rankings, that should be your obsession. You need to be on that list because that's the list it's like a shopping list. That's the list that the college recruiters shop from as far as at the high level. They're trying to build an NCAA championship team. They need, materials. It's like if I was going to build a $2 million house, I would have a list of everything that I need, a materials list, everything I need, all the fancy fixtures, you name it. And I'd get that list and we would go shopping. So you're not going to get light fixtures at Walmart for a $2 million home. They're not going to come shopping, at just some random local tournament in your backyard. You have to go to the big tournaments and you have to take out some top guys and top girls. And you have to have the tools. You have to prove that you have the tools. And if you don't take out the top wrestlers, you at least need to make sure that you're going toe to toe, right? You gotta go toe to toe with these guys. Brad Dickhouse did it, didn't place at Virginia Beach, but went toe to toe. 2-time NCAA qualifier for the University of Northern Illinois. We actually have 4 of our guys going there next year. So that's pretty cool. My own son, junior year, his senior year, had a concussion, couldn't compete. But, finished in the round of 12, went toe-to-toe with the top guys in America. Boom, phone rang. Some elite level schools. Alex Clemson, he's now the head coach at the University of Maryland. Same thing. NHSCA Nationals, National High School Coaches Association Nationals. It's going on right now, Virginia Beach. So what happened there? He didn't place, but he won a tight match with some of the top guys, and guess what? Finished top 10, top 12. Phone rings, Edinboro University. Now he's a Division I All-American and worked his way up the college coaching ranks. Now he's a head coach at a Big Ten college. Good thing he went. So do you have to win all of this stuff? No. A lot of these famous college coaches weren't Olympic champions, right? There's a few of them, but most of them weren't. Most of them were just, fast horses, and they were beating the top guys in America, and when they didn't, they were toe-to-toe, and they proved themselves. Then you got the grades, then you have, your social media has to be in check. You can't be a partier. Your strength nowadays, you can, like we say, weak wrestlers don't win close matches. They don't win big matches. You got to be strong. You don't have to be the top 1% in the world strength, but you can't be a weakling, okay? You need to be in that upper 20%, because some of its strength is born with, some of it you develop. So make sure you're among the strongest guys or girls in America at your weight. Top 20%, I would say. Also, how about your mental game? You can't be someone who freaks out for days before a big tournament or big match. You have to have a strong mental game. You need to spend about 2 hours a week studying sports psychology. Our YouTube channel is great for that. Actually, this is great for that. There's some chapters in there that'll change your whole wrestling career. This book's pretty famous in the jiu-jitsu community, by the way. There's some high-level, famous world-level jiu-jitsu athletes that use that. We're actually doing a 12-part interview podcast on BJJ Mental Models, the #1 jiu-jitsu podcast in the world. At least it used to be. It's among that. And so there's some great things in there too. Go to Amazon, right? So you should spend 2 hours a week studying the sports psychology side of wrestling. Get books. Go listen to YouTube. Just type, how to compete at a high level, how not to, succumb to performance anxiety, how to compete under pressure, whatever. Just type anything and start listening and start reading and spend some time journaling and writing down. This is where I need to start thinking. This is, also, how do you approach your wrestling matches? You might be a little bit different, okay? So, your personality has a lot to do with your wrestling. Be yourself. Cael Sanderson says it all the time. Don't try to be like someone else. Just be yourself, okay? If you're a laid-back guy, good. If you're a high-energy fire breather, that's fine too. If you're a patient wrestler, great. If you like to feel your opponents out in that first period, like Jordan Burroughs, okay. If you're a fast striker and you like to score quick, develop that skill. Spencer Lee. So, but there's no right or wrong way. So start to do some personal evaluation and figure out the tools and things necessary for you to have success. And, time to get to work. And I will tell you this, generally by the fastest horses in America, by the time they're 17 years old, their phones are blowing up with text messages. Their parents are getting calls. They're getting calls. They're getting recruited. Getting recruited means they're bothering you, right? They're mailing you stuff, and they're emailing you, and they're calling you. So make sure that, if you're 14, you got 3 years, man. It's time to go. You don't have a lot of time. So you're taught to be patient. You can't. By the time you're 18 and a half, it's over. It's over. So, understand that there is a ticking clock here, and it's illegal, right? They can't recruit you if they wanted to. So you need to make sure that you are putting yourself in a position to win and say, okay, I got to become a freak wrestler. Write down what needs to do and get to work. Good luck.